Chapter 2 Dark Night Jokester. The sun starts to set, and I feel exhausted. Venti and I have wandered nearly the entire town. We just left the Mondstadt Library, which was incredible. It had a whole section dedicated to my world. But it was general things, like geography and literature. I still wanted to know about the prophecy, and what I need to do as the Chosen One. However, the librarian seemed to have been somewhere else, as she was nowhere to be found.
So what's next on the agenda?
Venti asks as he walks with his hands behind his head. Scattered memories of Genshin Impact flood my mind. I see characters soaring through the sky with gliders, a lively marketplace in a desert land, and a sexy familiar figure with bright red hair and a black fur coat tending a bar. He has an aloof exterior, but from what I vaguely remember, he has a gentle heart. Do you know this cute bartender with red hair?
You mean Diluc?
The bard asks, as if this is common knowledge. I excitedly nod.
Sure, I can take you to him.
I follow him to the village square to a quaint medieval tavern. The building stands tall, made of stone, blending perfectly with Mondstadt's charm. Large arched windows line the front, glowing softly from within, casting a warm amber light that spills onto the cobblestone street. Above the door hangs a wooden sign, swaying gently in the breeze, carved with the image of a wine barrel surrounded by swirling vines. The tavern's name etched in elegant script beneath it. Ivy climbs along the stone walls, weaving between the beams, giving the place an air of quiet, lived-in comfort. The bard leads me inside, and it's packed with people.
Diluc runs the Angel Shares Tavern,
he explains.
He can be intimidating at first, but he's got a heart of gold behind that gruff exterior.
We make our way to the bar, where Diluc sits, quietly observing the lively camaraderie among the patrons. He is dark and brooding, just as I remember, rests his head in his hands, his sharp eyes scanning the crowd with an air of quiet intensity. He doesn't notice us, even though we're only a few feet away. My steps falter as anxiety creeps in. Flirting has never been my strong suit. I had a few boyfriends, but those relationships were short-lived, and I never got serious with anyone. They never went anywhere. I didn't end up dating anyone who showed interest in me, regardless of their personality. Even if they were a complete loser, I'd go along with it, even when I didn't really like them. With guys I did like, I watched from afar. I was always timid and meek around them. I tried talking to an attractive guy once, and we even dated. His name was Nathan. However, we both met each other at the wrong place and wrong time. He wanted a rebound girlfriend, while I was dealing with my own inner demons. Needless to say, we didn't last long. As I ruminate over the past, completely lost in thought, Venti places a gentle hand on my shoulder.
Relax, Kayla. Diluc might look a little intense, but deep down, he's not as scary as he seems. Just be yourself.
I raise an eyebrow at him, my heart still hammering in my chest. But be myself? I'm the most socially awkward oaf I know. I mumble, glancing over at the bartender who now sees us. What if I say something stupid?
Just act natural.
The first thing that pops into my mind is that one scene from SpongeBob, where Patrick gives SpongeBob reassurance before his first boating lesson. Diluc is now standing across from me with his arms crossed, in an uninviting fashion.
So, what'll it be?
Coherent words don't form as I start to tremble. Sweat drips down my forehead, and my heart begins to race. Venti, of course, bursts into uncontrollable laughter, practically doubling over.
Oh, Kayla, you never failed to surprise me.
He draws the attention of a few people passing by, but I'm too mortified to care. Diluc, however, doesn't react. His arms remain crossed, and his gaze remains fixed on me.
I'm sorry. We don't serve cows here.
Panic wells up inside me, but Venti steps in before I can say anything more humiliating. He claps a hand on Diluc's arm, still grinning like this is all one big joke.
Come now, Diluc. You'll have to excuse Kayla.
He looks over at me with a goofy smile.
It's just how people on Earth greet each other.
I know where he is going with this, and I play along. That's right! Though I seem to have forgotten what planet I'm on. My apologies. Diluc raises an eyebrow.
Earth?
He scans me with curiosity.
I don't usually believe in conspiracy theories, but you've made me reconsider.
He pauses for a moment, then with a slight smirk adds,
Just let me know if you plan on ordering anything other than grass.
I bite my lip. I've never acted so stupid in my life. I try to change the subject. So, what do customers usually order here?
Their Daedalite wine is to die for.
Venti gushes.
People come all over just for a taste of the divine nectar.
It's true. Though personally, I'm not a fan of alcohol. We are also known for a wide selection of juices.
Diluc pauses and then says in a dry tone,
But for you, maybe a glass of milk would be more fitting.
Venti laughs again. Tears well up in his eyes.
You guys are killing me.
I play with the hem of my skirt and force a smile. I think I'll stick to the wine. Diluc gives a curt nod and turns to retrieve a bottle from the back of the bar.
Excellent choice.
The bard cries. He nudges me and winks.
I'll give you some privacy.
Panic grips me, and I quickly reach out, trying to stop him. No, Venti, where are you going? He gives me a wink as he steps towards the door.
Oh, don't worry. I'm not abandoning you.
He says, a mischievous lilt in his voice.
I just remembered. I owe someone a song. Or two.
He flashes a grin before strolling out of the tavern, leaving me standing there flustered. I turn back to Diluc, my face probably resembling a ripe tomato at this point. A song? I mumble. What is that supposed to mean? The bartender shrugs, uncorking the bottle with practiced ease.
Well, he is a bard.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense.
So,
He slides a glass of wine across the counter towards me, his expression calm, but I catch the faintest hint of amusement in his eyes.
aside from mooing, what sort of earth customs do you have?
Ugh, I groan. Not this again. I slump in my seat. I wasn't thinking, okay?
Well, if you ever feel the urge to moo again, I'll be sure to have some hay ready.
Are you ever going to let me live that down?
Unlikely.
I down the wine. It is something I wouldn't have expected. It was smooth but tangy. The taste is soft and airy, followed by a mildly sour aftertaste.
How is it?
Wow, this is interesting. I take the last sip and pass him the glass. It's like sour apples and green tea. He nods, setting the empty glass aside.
Dandelion wine has a unique flavor. It's something of an acquired taste, but people come from all over to try it.
I lean back, letting the flavor settle, but there's a weight lingering in the air between us. I sense something unsaid, a tension I can't quite place.
So, Kayla, is it?
I nod.
You're aware of the prophecy, aren't you?
Kinda. I hesitate, fidgeting with the edge of my sleeve. I know I'm supposed to do some big world-saving thing, but I'm missing the whole how part. I sigh, rubbing my temples. I'm supposed to help Teyvet or whatever, but the details? Super fuzzy.
The prophecy is vague for a reason. It's not meant to give you all the answers up front, but there's more to it than you might realize.
What do you mean?
The prophecy talks about someone arriving from Earth, someone who will either restore or disrupt the balance in Teyvet. Most people don't believe it, but those who do take it very seriously.
But I was told I'm the chosen one. If this is part of a prophecy, why wouldn't people believe it?
That prophecy is over 1,000 years old.
He explains.
Most of the people who once hoped for your return are long gone. The followers you have now are different. Either they've only heard fragments of stories about you, or they've lost their faith entirely.
Wow, no pressure or anything. But how am I supposed to save the world?
You don't have to understand everything right away, but you should know the prophecy isn't just about saving Teyvet. It's about choices. Your choices.
Diluc's words linger in the air, heavy with meaning, but a strange chill runs down my spine. I glance at him, trying to shake off the sensation, but it clings to me. Choices, huh? People are putting way too much faith in me. He folds his hands on the bar.
It's honestly not much of a big deal.
What do you mean? Of course it's a big deal. The fate of the world is at stake.
I meant the part about choices. You just need to be sure you know who's influencing them.
How can you sound so calm and yet urgent at the same time? Like who? I ask, forcing a smile. He leans forward slightly, his crimson gaze locking onto mine.
There is an entity known as the Abyssal Archon.
He begins, his voice low.
A long time ago, he was your husband. He's obsessed with you and will use others as pawns to manipulate you.
I feel a chill crawl up my spine, and my forced smile falters. Manipulate me? I echo, the words barely above a whisper. So then he must know I'm here, right?
I'm not entirely sure if he knows you're in Teyvet now, but he's read the scripture. He knows you're destined to return.
Damn, I thought being a chosen one would be cool, but you make it seem like a curse. He raises an eyebrow, his tone calm but with a slight edge of humor.
It's only a curse if you let it be. But hey, at least you've got free wine.
My jaw drops as I am reminded I'm still broke in this world. You mean it?
Relax, I'll add it to your tab. You can work it off. Eventually.
Ugh. Gee, thanks. He shrugs, his tone casual.
You could start washing dishes. I hear that's a popular way to settle debts.
Seriously? I'm supposed to be the chosen one. How am I supposed to get a job when I've got, world saving to do?
Well, chosen one or not, Mondstadt still runs on Mora. Maybe you should consider a side gig in between the world saving.
Oh, great. So I'm supposed to save Teyvet and work part-time?
It's called multitasking.
I slump in my seat. I don't know if my skills would benefit anyone. I write fanfiction, read tarot cards, and I got my bachelor's in psychology. Oh yeah, I'm sure they'd love hearing about alternate universes where everyone falls in love with each other. Or how the tower card means they're doomed. He raises an eyebrow, his confusion evident.
Fanfiction? What's that?
I blink, realizing I've stumbled into unfamiliar territory. Oh, it's when you take characters from stories, or legends, and, write your own stories about them. It's more of a hobby than an actual skill. He stares at me for a moment, processing that.
So, you write stories about things that already exist?
Yeah, but with a twist. Different endings, relationships that didn't happen in the original story, that kind of thing. He seems intrigued.
What sort of fanfiction do you write?
I feel my face heat up instantly, the embarrassment creeping up on me as I shift uncomfortably in my seat. Adult content.
I didn't realize saving the world had that kind of narrative twist.
I nearly choke on my breath, my face burning even more. It's not... it's just a hobby.
Clearly an interesting one.
Now listen here, I warn, wagging my finger at him, as if I'm trying to lecture him. I'm a lonely person.
Obviously.
I gasp, trying to keep a straight face, but failing miserably. You're the one who asked!
If it helps, I don't judge. Just observe.
Is that supposed to make me feel better?
Does it?
No! I cross my arms defensively. So what am I supposed to do? Diluc tilts his head slightly, considering.
Well, you've got a few talents that could be put to use.
I blink, not expecting that. Talents?
Your tarot reading might be of interest. Some people here are superstitious, and they might pay for a reading.
Wait, seriously? People would pay for that? But I'm still a novice. He nods.
You'd be surprised. People want answers. They will believe anything, even if they come from cards.
I sit back in my seat, letting his words sink in. Wow, I never considered myself professional level.
And then there's your psychology degree. We don't have many people who specialize in understanding the mind here. You could offer counseling or advice. Help people understand themselves.
Me? A counselor?
Mondstadt could use someone who listens. Believe it or not, People come to taverns to drown their worries, but some might appreciate talking to someone instead.
So what, you're offering me a job here at the tavern? As a therapist?
It's an option. You could offer your services. You'd certainly hear enough interesting stories.
I never really thought about that. I tap my chin, processing all the possibilities. Though, I guess I'd have to follow some kind of confidentiality rule, right? Like HIPAA or something.
HIPAA?
That answers my question. I nod knowingly. You guys don't have that here.
No. Elaborate.
It's a law about privacy and protecting people's medical information. Basically, I can't go blabbing about someone's issues after they pour their heart out to me. He looks at me completely unfazed.
So, like, common decency?
Yeah, let's go with that. I lean on the table as I ponder my new life. Okay, well, now that we know what I'm gonna do to make money, but how am I supposed to save the world? I know nothing about combat or magic. He watches me for a moment, then straightens, his expression unreadable.
That's something we can work on.
I glance up at him, confused. What do you mean? He crosses his arms, his tone firm but calm.
I'll teach you. Combat, at least. You'll need to be able to defend yourself, chosen one or not.
But I've never fought before, I say in a half-whisper. I don't even know where to start. I mean, I hesitate, taking off my glasses, revealing that I'm missing an eye. How am I supposed to fight like this? He's quiet for a moment, and I feel the familiar knot of insecurity twisting in my chest. I've spent years avoiding conversations about it, trying to forget the bullying and the medical torture I endured as a child.
You won't need perfect vision to learn how to fight,
He says.
Combat is about awareness. Timing. I'll teach you how to use what you have.
I bite my lip. But what if I can't keep up? What if I just fail?
Everyone starts somewhere.
He answers quietly. His gaze softens slightly, and for a moment there's an understanding in his eyes that makes my throat tighten.
You're not expected to be perfect right away. But if you're willing to learn, I'll make sure you're ready.
I swallow, the weight of my insecurities pressing down. You really think I can do this?
With the right training, yes.
Oh, okay. When do we start?
Tomorrow morning. Early.
How early is early?
Dawn.
Well, shit. I better get to bed now. I look at the clock. Yep, 7. It's definitely bedtime. He raises an eyebrow, his expression neutral but with a hint of amusement.
There are a few unoccupied rooms upstairs. Pick whichever one suits you.
He offers a small smile.
And don't worry, you don't owe me anything for this.
Thanks, Diluc. I really appreciate it. He gives a brief nod.
Get some rest. You'll need it.
I head for the stairs, still processing everything. A place to stay, combat training. This new life is starting to feel very real. As I reach the top, I glance back at him. See you at dawn then?
Don't be late.
Shine!